Sometimes we have a circuit that has a combination of resistors, and so I'm going to talk some about how to reduce that, find out some things about the entire circuit, and then use those values to analyze various parts of the circuit. So here's a reducible circuit. What I mean by that is if I take the time to do this, I can think about, okay, here's two resistors that are in series, and then those two resistors are in parallel with these, and then look at this, we've got a series, and then this series of resistors that I just collapsed and this series of resistors are in parallel with one another. And then once I reduce that whole thing, that whole section is in series with that 4 ohm resistor. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce those. Okay, so looking at this set of resistors over here on the far right, I've got two resistors that are in series with one another, so I'm just going to add those together, and the equivalent resistance is 4 ohms, 2 plus 2. And then I've got this 4 ohm resistor that I just reduced, and this 4 ohm resistor, and they are in parallel with one another, so I'm going to put them together as parallel resistors, so that's 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4. The reciprocal of that in ohms, so that's 2/4. When I take the reciprocal, it's 2 over 4, and that's 2, so that becomes a 2 ohm resistor. That section that is 2 ohms is in series with this 10 ohm resistor, so when I take the whole thing here, I've got a 10 ohm resistor in series with a 2 ohm resistor, and so I add those together, 10 ohms plus 2 ohms, that gives me 12 ohms. Now I've got this 12 ohm resistor, and it's in parallel with this section here. So if I look at this section, it is a 4 ohm and an 8 ohm. Those are in series, and so I add them together. That's a 12 ohm resistor. So now I'm going to take this whole piece here. All of that is parallel. So I've got a 12 ohm resistor and another 12 ohm resistor. And so I have 2/12. When I take the reciprocal, it's 12 over 2. So that means 6 ohms. So this piece is 6 ohms. It is in series then with this 4 ohm resistor. So the equivalent resistance of the entire circuit is 6 ohms plus 4 ohms, or 10 ohms. Okay, so on the previous slide we said that the equivalent resistance for the entire circuit is 10 ohms. And so when I look at the entire circuit and I start thinking about where the current's going, I see I've got the 5 volt potential difference. And so this is going to send current here. Now it's going to split at this junction, and part of it will go across this top wire, part of it will go down through this piece. But I can actually figure out what the current is across this resistor, because all of the current that the battery produces is going through this resistor. And so the current through the 4 ohm resistor is equal to the potential difference of the total circuit divided by the equivalent resistance of the total circuit, because all of it goes through here. So that's actually all, or the total current. So for the 4 ohm resistor, I would take the total, which is 5 volts, and 10 ohms is the equivalent resistance. So the total current, which is the current that goes to the 4 ohm resistor, is half an amp. A little more analysis I can do with the R1 here. If I know the current through R1 and I know the resistance of R1, I can find the potential drop for this R1. So my 4 ohm resistor there has a current of 1/2 amp. It has a resistance of 4 ohms. So that means it has a potential drop of 2 volts. So what that means is my battery here has 5 volts. That means this side of the resistor is at 5 volts. I'm dropping 2 volts, so this side of the resistor is at 3 volts. So for the next section here in parallel, this is at 3 volts, and this is at 3 volts. I've dropped 2. These are all at 3 volts. When I get to the other side of this piece, I have to be back at 0 volts. So as I work my way through this loop, I drop 2 volts. Between the two of these, I drop another 3, and I'm back to the battery. So I know that this is 3 volts, and this is 0 volts, and so each one of these is going to draw part of that potential. And I know the resistance here for R2 and R3. And I know that together R2 and R3 have an equivalent resistance of 8 plus 4 are 12 ohms. Since the same current flows through R2 as flows through R3, and I know that because they're in series, since the same current goes through there, and I know the equivalent resistance, I can find out what that current is. The current through 2 and 3 is equal to the potential drop across 2 and 3 divided by the equivalent resistance of 2 and 3. So the potential drop, we said that is 3 volts, and the equivalent resistance is 12 ohms, and so I get 0.25 amps for the current through this piece that I've marked with the red arrow. Again, a little more that I can say about those, and that is I can know how much each one of those drops in potential, because the potential drop across resistor 2 is going to be the current through resistor 2, which we just found to be 1/4 amp, times the resistance, which is 4 ohms. And so this has 1/4 times 4, so that's 1 volt of potential that drops there. So that means we know that the potential drop across the third resistor has to be 2 volts, but let's just show that that's true. So across the third resistor there, I have a current of 0.25 amps and a resistance of 8 ohms. And if I take 1/4 times 8, I get 2 volts. So sure enough, I know the drop is 3 volts. 1 volt drops across the 4 ohm resistor. 2 volts drops across the 8 ohm resistor. Okay, so we just found some things out about this circuit. We found that there is 1/2 amp of total current, and then we discovered that 1/4 amp goes through this R2, R3. So conservation of charge tells me whatever charge goes into this node has to come out of this node. So if 1/2 amp goes in and 1/4 amp comes out this way, that means 1/4 amp has to come out this way. So that lets me see another piece. I also know that this resistor drops 2 volts of potential. So we said if we call this 5 volts, this would be 3 volts. And so 3 volts here, as we did earlier, that means there's 3 volts on this side of the resistor. If I'd like to know how much potential is dropped across the fourth resistor, R4, I can figure that out by taking the product of the current through the fourth resistor and the resistance of that fourth resistor. So we know that 1/4 amp flows through the 10 ohm resistor, and so that means 2.5 volts is dropped across there. So if this side is 3 and I drop 2.5, I've got a half when I get to the other side. So this next section starts out at half a volt and half a volt delivered to these two pieces. 0 on the bottom. So what that means is, as I work my way through any one loop, I start with 5 volts, I drop 2, I drop 3, and I'm back. And the difference between what I started with 5 and what I ended with 0 is 5 volts, so the potential difference. If I take the next loop, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drop 3, I'm going to drop some more and drop some more and come back, and I have to be at 0. So let's see how much I'm dropping then across this R5. I know what I'm dropping across R4. It's dropping 2.5. And so that means I have to drop half a volt across this R5. It's a 4 ohm resistor, so I can actually figure out which part of the current goes through the 5 ohm resistor and which part of the current's going to go over and go through the 6 and the 7. So the current through the 5th resistor is equal to the potential difference across the 5th resistor divided by the resistance of the 5th resistor. So in our case, we know this is half a volt, and the resistance is 4 ohms. So we're going to take 1/2, divide by 4, and we get 0.125 amps through that piece. If 0.125 amps goes through that piece, then that leaves 0.125 amps to go through the other piece. So I'm down to 0.125 amps, and then I had 0.25, and so this is split, 0.125 amps. Not too surprised by that, because remember the equivalent resistance here is 4. The resistance here is 4 ohms, so I expected for those to divide evenly. So let's go over and talk about the last leg. All right, we've got the last leg here. We know that the current that comes into this leg is 0.125 amps. We know that the combined resistance is 4 ohms, and we know that this resistor on top starts out half a volt higher in potential than this one down here on the bottom. So how much does each one drop? Well, I can figure that out. So the potential drop across 6 is going to be the current through 6, 0.125 amps times 2 ohms. And I get 0.25 volts. That means I must have 0.25 volts dropped across resistor 7, and since those are identical, that's not surprising, the math will be identical. So I have dropped, from the beginning I started with 5, I dropped 3, then I dropped 2.5, so I only had a half left, and I come down and I'm back to 0 as I work my way around that. So we took this somewhat complicated looking circuit, we reduced it, and by reducing it using equivalent resistances, we were able to find some things out about the total current, about the current through each piece, and then that also led us to see the potential drop across these. So even a complex looking circuit can be reduced so that it's easy to analyze each one of the separate elements. It just takes a little bit of work and keeping track of which resistor you're talking about.